Hello, everybody. This is Angel Arts, and welcome to a very special random Let's Talk that I wanted to hang out with my buddy Dylan because we just finished recording for Borderlands. But him and his new wife, Bethany, I was very excited because I actually was able to watch them get married. I was in the wedding too, which was really awesome. And Bethany's maid of honor, Heather. We all just saw Season 8, Episode 8, which was the mid-season finale of the Walking Dead TV show. We just saw it yesterday. Well, actually, Heather just saw the ending like just a few moments ago.
Not even an hour ago.
Yeah. So
about it.
there was a lot that happened in that episode, and we wanted a chance to talk about it. So if you are not caught up, or if you don't watch the show, then you probably don't want to watch this anyway. But if you're not caught up, spoiler warning, that we're definitely going to be talking about major spoilers from the very beginning, because there's a tons that we needed to talk about, because I needed to talk about it with somebody, and I figured talking about it with Heather and Bethany and Dylan would be awesome. So I feel like let's just cut to the chase, guys. Can we just go straight to the end?
Can we please?
And just, can we just talk about the end?
Talk about the ending because,
what I was telling, before we get there, but what I was telling Bethany, like as soon as the episode started, I was like, man, this is the last episode for a couple of months. I really hope they don't just like make it this like drawn out show and just end it on this kind of lackluster kind of cliff thing. And so we were watching it, it was a good episode.
No, and he even said it. Like when Rick was walking through that sewer at the very end, he's like, oh, he was like, this is exactly what I was afraid of. The episode ends. It was just this big drawn out process of them fighting. Nothing super significant happened.
So he wanted a death.
And then they showed that.
Yeah.
And so then he was like, okay, I take it back.
And to Bethany's credit, so Heather, tell us a story about how Heather came to watch the ending, because originally she didn't. What happened? Because you somehow convinced her, because she asked you a question about Carl. What happened?
Yeah. Yes, she's a very hateful friend.
Not true. Not true. She was having a hard, long day.
I had a rough day.
Let's unwind, watch The Walking Dead.
Let's unwind.
No, she watched it already. I had seen the beginning of it at my house because my parents and we religiously watch it. And I sort of got this vibe that something bad was going to happen to Carl. And so I was like, I don't even want to finish watching this. I'm not emotionally okay right now to watch this.
Right.
So I left and I got to Bethany. She's like, did you see it? Oh my God, you have to watch it. And I'm like, no, because I have this vibe that Carl's going to die and I just can't watch it. If Carl's going to die, I just can't. Like, today's been rough. I can't watch it. She's like, Carl doesn't die. I'm like,
no. Wait. No. She
does this like stare. Like she just stares at me.
Her literal question was, I will watch it as long as Carl doesn't die. Does Carl die? And I literally paused and I was like, no, he doesn't. He doesn't die.
Well, he doesn't die.
And I stuck with it. I was like, he does not die.
And it
He's
gets
not
worse.
dead at the end of this. I was like, and I even told her, I was like, he is in the very last scene of the episode.
And he's alive.
So he's okay.
It gets worse.
He's okay.
Because she was right. Because the last scene comes and they're walking through the sewer. And I'm like, oh, something looks wrong with Carl. He looks sick. And Bethany's like, oh, it's because he just got blown up. He's fine. I'm like, okay. And then they lift his shirt up and you see the bite mark on his chest. And I'm like,
oh, no.
You're a B word. I hate you.
Oh, no.
Wait, then she's Googling. She like Googles something like Carl spoilers or something. And then like the first question that pops up on Google is,
Carl die?
Does Carl die? And she's like,
oh, no.
He got bit. And then she's like, but do you think he'll really die? Like, maybe they'll find a cure for him. It'll be okay.
Bethany was saying the
but
same
that's
thing.
what I said too.
After we watched it,
they'll find a cure specifically for Carl. Like, it'll be okay.
Carl is the Messiah who ends up being immune.
Yeah.
And like they'll make a vaccine out of his blood or something like that.
He doesn't look it though, let's be honest, because when Rick turned the corner and like he was sitting in that sewer, remember what I told you? Like there was a split second where they showed him where I literally thought it was just his dead body sitting in the sewer. He looked so bad. He looked sick.
Yeah.
Like sick. Like he literally looked dead. He was like no, like, nothing to him.
Yeah. So I know there was a lot of reaction to that reveal at the end, and besides the initial shock, of course, a lot of people were arguing over whether or not this was a stupid writer's, like.
Okay.
Do you guys think that this was a not good thing, but do you think that they were stupid for basically signing Carl's death warrant, or do you think this actually helped with the story?
I think it kind of helped with the story because I know a little bit from the comic side of things. I haven't read all the way up through this point, but I've kind of skimmed just to kind of compare because I like to see what's the difference between the show and the comic book. And I feel like I don't want to spoil anything, but I feel like with the comic, I feel like there was more of reasoning to try to get Negan, like try to work with Negan and stuff. Whereas in the show, I feel like it's like more of like let's just kill him off kind of thing. At least that's the vibe I got. I just kind of skimmed through. I didn't actually read. And I feel like with the TV show, it's more just like, no, let's kill them all. But then Carl was like, well, maybe we can actually, and Jesus too, maybe we can actually like work with these people because after Negan's done, we still have to live our lives. It's not just like, you know, it's not like the zombies are going to go away and go back to normal. Like we still have to live with it.
I think it was like like Carl always seemed like one of those untouchable characters. Like Rick is untouchable. Like Rick can do anything at all. They can put him in any scenario where he's near death and no one fears that happening because he's that untouchable character. And I feel like Carl was kind of like attached with that. And by writing off his character, it gives like this uneasy vibe to like every character on the show now where it's like no one's safe. So I feel like if they wouldn't have done that, then you know, we'd be going along the motions. Yeah. Like, you know, okay, they're all good. No one's going to die. No one significant has died, you know, so far with the whole battle with Negan. You know?
Besides Glenn and Abraham.
Well, but Glenn and Abraham was before the war against Negan. This is, like, all new. This war, you know?
I think I agree with you because it's just, like, I feel like with shows and books, it's not meaningful and it doesn't make you think about it for like weeks after if it's just like happy-go-lucky and perfect all the time. And I think that at times in series, if there isn't like a death or something traumatic that happens, you kind of just like, oh God, when is this going to end? It just keeps like dragging on. So I think it may have been a good idea as much as it breaks my heart.
Yeah, Carl was like one of my favorites.
He reminds me of a little brother.
Her little brother
looks
is
just
like a spitting
him.
image.
Yeah, it looks a lot like Carl.
With long hair too.
No, like more of like when he was a baby, his little baby face looks just like her brother's little baby face.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I also think like going back to what Bethany said about him being like a permanent person and how it feels uneasy. I think that feeling is what you're supposed to feel when you watch that kind of show because it's the end of the world. There's zombies. Everyone's dying. It's not supposed to be like everything's going back to normal because you're still trying to learn how to like live through the whole zombie thing and have a civilization, and it's not always going to be like unicorns and rainbows. So I think they were trying to bring back that uneasiness feeling like nobody's safe. So I think it was a good move.
I think the argument that, I'm not necessarily saying I share this sentiment, but the argument a lot of people were making who thought that this was a stupid idea are mainly two reasons. A, the fact that Carl was supposed to represent the future of this world. Like he was supposed to survive, and maybe for the finale, the comics haven't ended yet, but maybe for the finale, Rick would finally die, but he would like hand over his reign to Carl, and he would basically inherit whatever the ending is. And so people were like, well, now that he's gone, that's kind of like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of moving on? Yeah. And then the second reasoning is, again, you guys don't read the comics, so I don't think this is a spoiler, but in the comics, he's still alive. He survives this and keeps going. And many people were saying, I haven't read that far, so I don't know. But many people were saying that there's significant things that involves Carl in the future of the comics. So people are like, so what's gonna happen now that Carl isn't there. So I think people were, but I feel like it's not necessarily a bad thing that it's departing from the comics either, because I feel like you need to do something different.
The comics and say like, oh, I know what's gonna happen. You know?
Well, and in reality, I know I've read several articles where it talked about how The Walking Dead has strayed far from how the comics are really. Like, isn't that true? Like, it's not as similar as people were hoping it would be. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that's good for the people who do enjoy the comics. It gives them a different limelight to see the show and kind of enjoy it in a different way. That way, it's still somewhat fresh. Like,
and they still have, to the point of people that think like there's no future. Carl wasn't the only future. I mean, they have Judith and
now Maggie's pregnant.
And Edith. You know,
that's true.
I mean, she's there too. So you know, maybe they'll just take Edith's character and make her stand in for where Carl should have been. You know, I mean, there's still characters that can play that same role that Carl was supposed to play. You know, I mean, it sucks because he is such a significant character, but maybe it'll give a chance for other characters to step in and have bigger roles. You know,
I'm still holding on to the fact that this is all just a dream.
Yes.
He did not get bit. He's fine. Well, I think another thing that I really like about the way that they did it, or like the way that his death is taking place, is this past 2 seasons or so, I think, like, we've seen very little zombie death. It's been a lot of bullets and fighting and people killing other people, and the zombies are almost just like a extra little thing on the side, where the show is The Walking Dead. At the center of it is the fact that they're living in a world with zombies. And so I think Carl dying the way that he did kind of, or the way that he will probably, maybe brings it back to like the fact that they're still in an unsafe world. Like, they're fighting each other, but they still have all this uncertainty and all this you know, chaos around them, you know?
I like what you just said, Bethany, because one thing I like about Carl's supposed journey to death is that it had nothing to do with Negan.
Yeah.
Like, Negan had nothing to do with it happened. I think a lot of people were confused when he actually got bit, because he actually got bit back in episode 6.
Dylan had to explain it to me because I was so confused. I was like, he wasn't around any zombies. Like, how I
was confused about too. But if you rewatch in episode 6 when he's fighting the horde of zombies, or that group of zombies with Sadiq, the guy that he saves, there's a scene where he's on the ground and one zombie's on top of him and the other one goes in. You see in the camera that the zombie goes in towards his side and then it cuts off. And I remember watching that myself at the time, and like in the back of my head I was like, did Carl get bit? But I didn't like think about it after the fact, because he actually, if you watch Chandler Riggs, he actually acted out really well. If you watch it on hindsight, you can see that he's like checking himself like after that. And at the time I thought that that's why he was checking himself, because I thought that he got bit. But then when he mentioned nothing about getting bit at all, I thought, oh, maybe I'm just reading into things too much.
Dylan kind of like saw that part of the episode and was kind of just like having the same, like, I guess, like I was saying earlier, like an untouchable character. Like, anyone else would have died.
That's what I was like, of course.
But of course, Carl's okay.
Yeah,
he's fine.
I literally said that.
To him, you know?
I was like, because he's an important character, you know, he's going to survive this. But if it was some random red shirt or somebody, it would just
kill him off. You know, like,
How do you guys think Rick is going to deal with this?
I think it's going to...
I have 2 different opinions on this. Either he's going to be, like, really mad and take it out on Negan, or he's going to, like, because... The way that because Carl asked those questions to Sadiq, which is something they haven't done in a long time. Like, you know, how many people have you killed? How many zombies have you killed? Why have you killed the people that you killed? I don't know. I feel like part of that too may kind of remind Rick on their initial, I guess, mission when they started Alexandria to kind of like save people, like bring people in who are, you know, I don't know. I feel like
But
go ahead.
But the irony is, and this is what I kind of, it's a little messed up, and I think they did this on purpose. The irony is, had he not decided to save Sadiq, if he never went out to look for him and tried to bring him back, he would not have gotten bitten.
That's true too.
So that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
that's so ironic. If he had decided to just not worry about Sadiq, he would still be fine.
And that's never been Carl's character either. He's
Yeah.
always been that rebellious. He's gonna do whatever his dad
Great.
tells him not to do. You know, like he's always
Yeah.
been that character. So I think if they would have had him not go back, and especially like the way that they filmed that scene specifically, I feel like when Rick came up and shot the gun above his head and scared him off, I think that whole scene they like focused on a little bit more than usual.
Yeah.
You know? And so I feel like if they would have just wrote it off and like, whatever, Carl's not going to go find him. He'll be fine. Again, it would have just been mediocre. It would have just been like, oh, okay, that random kid that never got heard of again, you know, whatever.
Now, I wonder how Rick's going to react to Sadiq now. I wonder if that's good. If he's
I
going
think
to
he's
be
going to
like...
hold resentment towards him for sure.
Yeah.
For a little while at least.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
I
agree
think
with
Rick
that.
is going to have a crazy episode. Like he did when, his wife's, what's her name?
Yeah.
Lori,
His
I think.
wife,
Lori.
when she died. I think he's going to go back to that whole craziness. Because, I mean, that's his son.
That's true.
Yeah.
See, and I feel like he's grown so much, and there's still so much time for him and Carl to come to peace with it. Where like him
True.
and Lori
Lori
never
just
had that chance
instant,
to
yeah.
come to peace with it.
Yeah.
He has a chance to make this time different than when Lori died. So I don't agree. I think that Carl is gonna level his head out, you know, give him wisdom. I mean, y'all saw at the beginning of the episode, the very beginning, where Carl was giving him all this wisdom and this advice and everything, you know?
And the
I don't know.
note,
Wisdom.
is he going to give him the note? The letter?
Where is that letter?
I don't know. Is it burned
Oh,
up?
that's right. I forgot about the letter.
Is it back at his house?
Oh, I didn't.
Or like,
Yeah, I forgot he wrote that, and I guess I didn't know what the significance of that letter was until you just mentioned it. Oh, that makes perfect sense now.
yeah.
Okay.
Everything made perfect sense when you saw that bite. Because before
Yeah.
that, there was so much confusion.
He was
with
acting-
what the heck was going on?
Yeah,
with
because Carl was acting weird. I was like, man, why is he...
He was writing notes. He was. Why? If Michonne, this is a big question.
She's been bringing this up all night.
If Michonne did not know that Carl got bit,
Yeah, she did
Daryl
not.
did not know that Carl got bit, why in the hell did they volunteer Carl to stay behind and take on Negan?
Well, I
Like,
think Carl
why-
did. Well,
why-
Carl had said, Carl had
It's
told
my
Michonne,
plan.
you said I was the one in charge or something like that. Let me run the show or something.
He's still a child. Who left him in charge? Like, why was that allowed? You know what I'm saying? Like, who signed off on that? Because if he would have said, like, I got bit, I'm dead anyway, let me volunteer to go out fighting like this, then I could see where people would be like, okay, yeah, but why? Like,
I don't know.
why?
Maybe because like when Negan first showed up, other than Abraham, which man, I miss Abraham. Carl was one of the other ones who was like really like courageous and really wasn't afraid of Negan. You know, he really had, I don't know, maybe
snuck
that's what
in
they
the
saw in him.
place.
Like he
Well,
really
yeah.
wasn't afraid. Like
And
even
I-
whenever he was about to have his arm chopped off, he was like, just do it, like whatever. He really wasn't showing fear. And
And
stuff.
he's
So
not, I
don't-
feel like he is, I was telling this to Heather too, I feel like he's the only one that's bulletproof to Negan. Because he broke into Negan's camp and Negan delivered him back safe and sound.
Yeah.
Like, here you go. Here's Carl. I love the kid. Keep him healthy and
Yeah, because
strong.
Negan really liked Carl in
Yeah.
a way, in a weird, I like Negan too. I don't know.
No, yeah.
Yes.
We'll get it
Yes. Dylan is a big Negan
I
fan.
love
Everybody.
Negan.
I know.
I just want everyone out there to feel my pain, okay? I have to watch The Walking Dead with my husband, the Negan lover. I have to deal with, at least once a week,
What
a Negan quote.
Yeah. Which is his favorite? Say it.
Today is a new beginning, you
yeah.
sorry shit.
Yeah, welcome to a new beginning. Like whenever he drops Rick off or whatever.
Mhm.
Dylan is such a good Christian boy. I would never. Whatever.
I always
Like,
like the dark cat.
oh my
To me,
God.
okay, I really liked Abraham, and it sucks when he died. I hated when Glenn died, but man, Negan is probably one of the better things that happened to the TV show, because I feel like the TV show was kind of, I really like the show, but like after a while, I was like, man, it's kind of like the same thing over and over again. They fight some zombies, they get in a fight, they separate. We spend a season getting with their little connecting the dots back to each other. Then they get another fight. Oh, they separate. Now they're getting back together, and then Negan shows up and just throws a wrench in everything, and he's like, oh, badass and cool and not afraid. He doesn't care about.
I wouldn't describe him as badass and cool.
As someone about to get a degree in psychology, I would diagnose him as a legitimate psychopath or sociopath.
Yeah.
He's crazy. I don't.
And the stuff he says, honestly, some of the stuff he says is just funny to me.
Did you see in the episode when Rick picked up Lucille and hit him with Lucille, and he was like, "Don't touch her!"
Oh, yeah, he got really mad.
Why would you say like? He just.
I think you have to know the backstory of Negan though to understand it. Like, there's a comic that's all about like. When he kind of explained it with Gabriel, which by the way. I have to talk about Gabriel. Okay, I'm just confused as to where he got sick at. Is he bit? Is he not bit? I'm just really confused.
He's not bit. I keep telling him he never got bit. He's just sick, like any other person is sick.
But it's just so weird.
It seems so random.
It was very random. I don't know if like all the guts and stuff just got him like really ill.
It was really random, but he never got bit, because if he got bit at this point,
he would have already died.
He would have known. Like they would have shown some type of bite. Like they would have shown that to us. It wouldn't just be like, "You're sick, Gabriel, in bed. We don't know."
Or maybe.
Or they would have killed him.
They're trying out the cure on Gabriel, and he'll get better. And so they'll be like, "Oh, let's
give it to Carl."
Now. You're welcome.
There you go. There you go. That you just spoiled the second half of the season.
Or the rest of the season for us.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Man.
Oh man.
No, that episode just destroyed me.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah, no.
So, I guess, Hark, where do you think Eugene's gonna go from
hopefully dead.
I'm really confused.
Goodness.
On Eugene, I really am.
No part of me likes Eugene at all. At all. I don't like him. I don't like his character. I don't. And like Dylan's argument is like, he's just flip-flopping. He doesn't know who to help. One minute he helps this person, one minute he helps that person. He's conflicted on which side. But I don't think it's that at all. I think it is literally just selfish. Like, I think he's just literally a selfish character. He's going to go wherever he's safe. And even if he's safe, if he can't sleep well at night, then to help ease himself, he's going to help other people. But he never does anything to benefit anyone else.
Yeah.
The only time he did something for someone else that wasn't selfish was when he drove that van. Whenever Negan's group first came into play. Remember when he was driving the RV?
I remember that.
That, to me, that's the only thing his character's ever done that's not selfish.
I think there was one time, too, he, like, shot some zombies. Like, Tara was, like, about to get killed or something, and he, like, helped. He, like, had a thing for Tara or something. I don't remember.
He protected Tara when Negan was trying to find out who made the bullets. And he basically he was willing to admit he was the one instead of letting Tara take, because she was about to take the fall for him.
That's true.
Okay.
So.
Oh, and that's how he got captured to Negan's camp, right?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just been there forever, and I can't stand him, so I don't care to remember his story.
I totally get it. I totally understand. I understand why Eugene does the things that he does. So, I am sympathetic to it to a point. Colin my husband is a really big fan of Eugene because he's been rooting for him and hoping he's going to turn around. But I'm like, even if he does, as much as I sympathize with Eugene, I feel like even if he does turn around and help save the day at the end, I feel like it's going to be a little too late. It'll be a little too little too late.
Like, I feel like they'll take Dwight at this point more than Eugene,
well,
which I really like Dwight.
I like Dwight and Heather.
I didn't know his backstory because there was a time period where I didn't watch The Walking Dead as religiously as I did before or now. So I didn't really remember his backstory, or maybe I hadn't seen it, and she explained it to me, and it seems like he's doing the best he can with what he has.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate him more than I can Eugene, even though I can see some redeeming qualities in him, but it's just...
His backstory is so deep and dark, actually, like when you really think about it. Because I don't know if y'all remember or not, but him and his wife and his sister-in-law, who was a diabetic,
Right, I
work
remember that.
for Eugene because
For
I
Negan.
mean for Negan.
For Negan.
For Negan because Negan was supplying them insulin. And that was her only way of surviving. So they were stuck there. Then they tried to run away. They stole all the insulin and ran away. That's when they ran into Daryl. They ended up going back to Negan's.
They should have gone with Daryl.
Yeah.
They should have.
They should have. They should.
Daryl tried, you know, to.
Yeah, because then whenever Negan finally caught them, that's whenever he said, I won't kill you as long as you let me have your wife, and I'm going to burn the side of your face. And I mean, like, his story is really, like, dark. He was pushed into a corner to side with Negan until now he's got a different option. So now he's finally like, yes, I have another option, because before he just didn't. You know?
Right.
He was stuck in his situation.
Yeah. How did you guys feel about Maggie and the hilltop stuff?
He's badass.
I'm a big Maggie fan.
I
love Maggie. She's my favorite.
Yeah.
Did you think what she did with executing that one guy was a good call?
Yeah.
I think she should have killed the long-haired guy who kept trying to escape.
I do too.
Oh, yeah.
I could kill anyone.
But honestly, I feel like that's Morgan's kill. So. I feel like that's Morgan's kill. Like, he needs to be the one to kill him.
Yeah.
Is he the one that killed the one he was training, or was it the other guy?
No, it was the guy with the long hair.
He was the one that killed
the guy that he was training.
Do you think they should have kept the prisoners? Do you think they should have executed all the prisoners?
I don't think so, because it gives them a little bit of leverage. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think, personally, I think Negan and his people aren't going to care about the prisoners. I think they're just going to not care about them. They say, well, we can let them die and just, you know, take over Hilltop or whatever. I really don't know. I don't think they're going to really be all that skeptical, shook up about it. That's the vibe I get.
See, but you say that, but Negan has always... I can't stand Negan. I don't. But he does have certain characteristics. Like, he does want to help people and save people. That's why they call them the saviors. He wants to find, he finds these guys and these girls and these people that need help, and then he takes them in and he brainwashes them, and, you know, and I don't know. I really do think he's going to do whatever saves more lives, because I really don't think he wants to lose a bunch of people. I mean, he said it a million times. He's like, don't kill these people. They're resources. Like, don't kill them.
Right.
You know?
I personally think they should, as brutal as it sounds, I think they should have just killed them all instead of keeping them prisoner. I was raised and grew up in a very military-focused family, and I've been preached to about, you know, it's either kill or be killed. And especially in that situation in The Walking Dead, I feel like majority of his people are sort of brainwashed, like I said earlier. So I think in that type of situation, the end of the world type of situation, I think it would have been smarter to just kill them all, because you never know if you could ever trust them. So
yeah,
that's just my opinion.
I think Jesus,
but you can use them as leverage too, as well.
Yeah, and
I don't think there's any saving them at all.
Maggie's whole point to keeping them was to use them for leverage.
Yeah,
and she said it. She was like, "We're using them until we don't need them anymore, and then we have to kill them. Like, there's no other choice." Whereas Jesus is like, there's another way.
No, don't agree with that.
I don't know. Maybe I think they have a wild card with those prisoners, because there's that one guy who seems somewhat good. Maybe he's trying to stop that bad, the long-haired dude, from trying to escape.
Yeah,
you know.
I told Heather I have like good vibes from his character.
Yeah, I feel like.
But then you never know with The Walking Dead. He could just like turn on.
But that is what I told her too. I was like, I don't know. It could be all an act. He could be playing sweet until he like lures them in, and then you know.
Yeah. Or he could be one of the first to die.
That's
or that too. Yeah, or that.
You
they
know.
could like build up that character for no reason at all and then just kill them all.
Yeah.
Hey, this is kind of a couple episodes ago, but wait, did we talk about this when you were here for the wedding? What's his name that got shot and turned into a zombie?
What's his name that got shot and turned into a zombie?
You said you really liked the character, and I was like, I don't know. I feel like they haven't developed his character.
Oh, you're talking about Aaron's, like, boyfriend?
Yeah.
Eric. Yeah, Eric. When Eric got shot. Yeah. Because I'm a big Aaron fan, and I thought that, I mean, what happened to them was very heartbreaking, but it was a really cool scene that they had before he died before Eric died.
Yeah.
So, but what did you want to ask about that?
No, I just didn't know if we had talked about it or not, or like what you thought about his death and how they took him out of the show.
I liked that his death was very different from the comics in that in the comics it just happened really quick. Like he just got shot in the head and then he was instantly dead. Whereas for this one, they actually had a chance to say goodbye, essentially, even though Aaron didn't necessarily think it was a goodbye.
Yeah.
So I think that part of that was because there was a lot of backlash from many of the fans, especially from the LGBT community. There was a lot of backlash for characters like when Denise, which was Tara's girlfriend, when Denise just got killed without anything.
That's what Heather was talking about. She said
that's one of the most traumatic deaths to me.
Yeah, she said that death stuck out to her the most.
And I think that's how Abraham was supposed to die in the comic books.
Yeah, that was how Abraham was supposed to die in the comics, and I think people were just saying that it's. I guess people are saying, well, what's wrong with that? Because a lot of people in The Walking Dead die without having a goodbye, and I think people were just felt that it's kind of tropey to kill off. You know, it's like tropey, for example, to kill off the black character, or tropey to kill off the lesbian character, and I guess people were just getting a little sick and tired of it. So I think that the fact that Eric actually had a chance to actually have a moment with Aaron before he died was, I think, attributed to those complaints. So.
And now we bring them up. I forgot that they were like with those women people with that they took the guns from. In the last episode.
Yeah. So we only saw them for a brief moment, and then because I really liked what is it called, Seaside. I liked the Seaside and the lore and the story, and I don't know what's gonna happen with them.
Yeah, that I felt like came out of nowhere. That was just like the random part of the.
Yeah.
It didn't connect to anything else that was going on. That like is that where they were going? Were they like driving out there to go get those people?
They were trying to recruit them. They were trying to convince them to help them, which is why they stopped over at the distillery to try to get some wine, I guess, to try to give them an offering.
Here's some wine.
Because like me and Dylan were kind of confused on that part. We were like, where are they going? Or like, what are they trying to do?
Yeah. They were trying to get more people.
And then Dylan was like, what, like, he said something like, they're the beach people. Why are they off of the beach? I don't understand. And I was like, no, they didn't just live in the beach, though. They had, like, the foresty place that they lived. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
because I liked, there's some really cool characters. Obviously, I like the character that Tara ends up befriending.
Yeah.
But I also like there's another female character who seemed to be, like, the enforcer. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, she was the shorter cut hair.
Yeah.
And I liked her character a lot too, because she was the one who sort of she had that respect between her and Rick, because after they defended, these walkers came out and Rick's people and Seaside people helped fight everything. Like she gave Rick back his knife after he gave it to her.
Yeah.
Like, so I like that a lot. So I kind of hate the fact that right now things are a little strained between them since Enid shot the grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of hope for them coming help or like recruiting them, I guess. Like, I'm surprised it didn't happen earlier, to be honest.
Me too.
And I'm really surprised that they went and tried to get the trash people in them.
Exactly. I would have gone to the Seaside people before to the trash people.
Yeah.
And to go alone, I was like, man, this is really brave. Like, I was like, man, how long are they gonna wait? Oh, let's give Rick a couple more days. You know, he's talking to those trash people. Let's give him a couple more days. He'll be back soon.
They're weird too.
They're so weird.
And then first,
they're so sketch.
I don't understand them.
You can't trust them.
No.
One thing I can say though, like going back to you talking about the new characters that you like, the women.
Yeah.
One thing I could say about The Walking Dead that I love is that every single girl that has ever been a character in The Walking Dead is a straight up badass. And I love it.
Yeah.
Like Carol is my favorite, I think. Carol and Matt are my favorites.
Yeah.
They're great.
Carol wasn't on this episode very much.
No, she wasn't.
We saw her for like a little bit with Ezekiel.
She's old.
Which
she's crazy, but
that was really cool too. Is how Ezekiel because I feel like after like his whole army died or whatever, he kind of just shut down and was like, this isn't
Yeah.
for me. I can't do it. I'm not meant to be this person that everybody
Right.
thought I was meant
Yeah.
to be. Blah blah blah.
And there was a strong woman in that scene too, in the
I forget
hilltop.
her name. Yeah.
With the was she Muslim? I wasn't sure if she was
Yeah,
Muslim.
Muslim.
And
Yeah,
I was like,
she's Muslim, and I was like, that's so awesome. I
Yeah.
like her. I like her a
her a
lot.
lot.
She was like so quiet and stuff, and then she just took the
Oh,
opportunity to get the gun and stuff.
Yeah, I was like, you go, girl.
Yeah.
When she
Yeah.
picked
Yeah.
that gun.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Wait, is she in the comics? Because I don't.
I don't even know her name. I don't
I don't know her name.
We're
None
gonna
of
have to
us
find
know her
out,
name.
because
I
Or like
noticed-
the girl with the.
Hijab
Is she
on, yeah.
Muslim?
Hijab. Yeah.
Yeah, because I kept the camera kept focusing on
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
like on all the time. So I was like, she must be someone significant. And then of course when the explosion at the kingdom happened and she picked up that gun, I was like, oh okay, all right, I liked her. They set that up really well. I like her.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
hopefully-
wonder what Morgan's
Yeah.
gonna do. To
Morgan,
help
you
Ezekiel.
better
Oh,
say-
yeah, because he was just staring through those
Yeah.
those little.
He was like
spots.
listening
Yeah.
to everything that they were saying.
He better save King Ezekiel.
I hope so, because he's
I love-
King Ezekiel is definitely a favorite.
I like how
Yes.
Ezekiel is talking now. Though.
What
Let's
is-
just
what?
be honest.
What are you talking about?
Okay, before King Ezekiel took the hit and fell off of his throne of kingdom or whatever, the way that he would talk literally bugged the junk out of me. Like I
Do an
couldn't.
impression.
No. I can't. Just the way everything was so grand and yes, today is a beautiful day. That's all. It's like
And I
shut
smiled.
up.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I love it. I love that.
I can't like.
And yet I smile.
Yes, like I can't, like I was like, I love his character so much, but then I don't, just because of the way, like he is. Like
See, here's where
I just want you to be real. I want you to be down to earth and real with it. And like it just seemed so elaborate and like drawn out and.
But that's who he is, because even when Carol was running up to the doors to get him out, Carol said, "Your Majesty." She didn't say King Ezekiel. And whenever she first met King Ezekiel, she's like, "You're stupid." Like she really like had faith in him and believed in him, because she said,
Yeah.
she was like, "Your Majesty, come on, let's go." And he was like, "No, saved him like he saved me." He locked the door or whatever.
I
Forgot
didn't even
about
put
that
that
part.
together.
Yeah, she was just like, Carol of all people who's like, "No, let's just
Who
get
was
it
like,
done.
"No, you're
There's
full
no
crap."
time."
I remember
There's-
when they first met. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
She laughed at him.
Yeah.
She was like,
Yeah.
okay.
like
Yeah,
now
yeah.
she's got like, I don't know, faith or whatever.
I think she just gets it. She just
Yeah.
understands
Yeah.
why he does it the way he does. But I understand Bethany, like what she's saying. It
But
can
I
be
like him
a little
so
too much.
more with how he's talking
Yeah.
now. You know?
Bethany's like, he sounds like my husband when he plays D&D.
Yes! Yes!
That's probably why she hates it so much.
Yeah, but I like it. Bethany knows this, but I like all the wise characters, and she thinks it's funny because all the wise
He
characters always die.
Yeah, I know.
He literally always likes the old wise characters. So like
Oh, and like the dad.
so Carl's having all these like moments of wisdom and stuff right before he dies. Like, yep, he's gonna die. Like all the wise ones that like get that insight right at the end.
Or the moral compasses, really. Anyone with a moral compass. That's why I'm always worried about Michonne, for example. I'm like, Michonne, don't say those things. You're
Yeah.
going to be signing a death wish.
Oh, when she started hooking up with Rick, I was like, man,
She's
you
gonna
just
die
signed
soon.
your certificate because like no one stays in a
Yeah.
relationship for very long on this show. Glenn and Maggie were the longest.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too soon.
I
It's too
know.
soon to
Too
talk
soon.
about Glenn.
But I wonder what made her stay. Like, I wonder, did she see Rick or did she see something to make her like stand her ground and like go back into Alexandria when everything?
Yeah,
was up
why
in
did
flames?
she do that?
Everyone when
Yeah,
Regina
that
was
I'm
looking
not
up.
sure. I mean, I thought she was just looking for Carl originally.
Oh, maybe so.
That's what I thought,
thought.
too, but then I was like, no, because Carl was in the sewer already.
But I don't know if she necessarily
They
knew
knew
that.
that
though.
because he was
Maybe.
on.
Did they know that?
Yeah.
Then I thought maybe she saw Rick because then they showed
Maybe.
Rick right after
But then
that.
why would she go back to the sewer with Rick if she was looking for Carl? Wouldn't they have just looked for
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. That's a very good question. It might be she saw Rick.
I
Maybe so.
don't know.
It was weird.
It was very
Didn't
weird.
make sense.
There's no answer for that.
And man, I wonder. I kind of keep jumping around characters, but I wonder what Daryl's thinking right now, because he was so worried. Was because of the truck? Was because of the truck? You know, because he has kind of got Glenn killed, and then in a way maybe he got the zombie or situation. You know,
Like he's
could
feeling
probably
more
help
guilt.
with that.
He is probably feeling guilty.
Feeling guilty about the fact that they attacked Alexandria?
Yeah.
Is he that?
Yeah.
Or no, feeling guilty that they like. I think like what Dylan's saying is he feels guilty about Glenn. I think he's always going to carry that guilt on him. Yeah. But then it's weird how he kind of rambunctiously decided to drive the truck into their building. Mm-hmm. Like he didn't verify that with anyone, or well, it wasn't like a group decision that was made. He just decided, him and a couple other people were like, okay, we're going to run the truck into the building. Like, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, right after they do it, they suddenly escape. Like, the saviors escape. So he's like, well, did I do that?
And I was talking to Bethany about this. I think Eugene did help, but I want to say that the truck probably gave them more help, because my idea is that all the snipers are watching the windows. And so with the truck ramming in, yes, people died, but it also gave the people inside a vantage point to actually be able to kill some of the zombies off, because if they would try to go and shoot them, a sniper would just, shoot them out the window. And so now the zombies are kind of getting in. It gave them a way to kill.
And they're bottlenecked.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bottleneck, they probably would have had an easier time maybe to kill
them. That's
them
what I'm thinking. I mean, I think it probably did help them.
I think Eugene lured them away, though, because remember whenever Simon was talking to Maggie and you hear that music in the background? Mm-hmm. He was saying, like, your good old buddy Eugene helped us out. And our guys are leading the herd the rest of the way, or whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it did have a pile of dead bodies when Rick was like assessing the scene. It had piles of zombies, kind of like well, at least from what I saw in the glimpse that the camera like panned across the place. I don't know, but I feel like the truck did more harm than good to Rick's to the good guys, personally.
Well, I think for Daryl's character, once you put that much guilt on yourself, like just that one time whenever Glenn died, I think it's just kind of like a pattern and a routine from like that point on. Even if it's not directly his fault, he's probably still going to blame himself for everything that's happened. I think it's going to be a cycle now that he just feels guilty about everything. Yeah. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Which is sad. So I love Daryl.
Yeah, I love Daryl. Daryl's an untouchable character, okay?
If he dies, I die.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding.
Man.
I've already said it so many times. Like, anytime Daryl gets close to dying or gets in, like, a sticky situation, I, like, say it out loud to Dylan. I'm like, if they kill him off, I'm not watching this show anymore. I will not do it. He has to live. If he dies,
it's the original, like, first season cast.
Like,
I was like, no, you can't kill them. And then they did it to Glenn, and now they're doing it to Carl.
Yeah, so, like, literally, after Carl dies, it's going to be Rick, Carol, and Morgan. That's the only, like, original season 1 crew. Everyone else.
Daryl.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I consider Maggie part of the original cast, because she's season 2, huh?
Yeah, but she's not the original. And Morgan, even though he's original, he's kind of not. So it's really just Rick, Carol, and Daryl.
Yeah. So Heather, what you're gonna have to do now is you're gonna have to wait for Bethany to not see an episode yet. You have to watch the episode first, and then you'll talk to Bethany and be like, well, Daryl is still alive at the end. Just so you know, he's still, even if Daryl's perfectly fine, you just be like, so Daryl, you could be like, so did you see the episode? No? Okay, well, so Daryl's still alive at the end of the episode.
I would have to ask her about it. I would have to be like, Heather, I'll watch this episode with you if Daryl is alive. Is Daryl alive at the end of this episode? Because that's what she
And then I'll do a
down and
stare.
she was like, is Carl alive at the end of this? I did not lie. I didn't.
Yes.
I did not lie.
Yes.
I want that known.
But
yes.
I will have my revenge, even if I have to lie.
So overall, you guys thought this was a good episode then?
I did.
Yeah.
I mean,
good episode.
It's got me wanting more.
Good
for
first half of the
wanting more.
season too, I think.
Right. So Heather, are you not done yet? Are you not done with the show now that you know what happened with?
I'm still trying to process it.
Yeah.
It's rough.
When I first saw it last night, I turned to Colin, my husband, and I was like, why do we watch this show? Like, why do we torture ourselves? Like, why do we do this to ourselves? Like, I don't understand what the appeal is. Why do I keep watching?
Because it makes you feel something. That's why we watch television shows and read books and watch movies to feel something. So I always like it when I feel sad. I'm like, man, this freaking sucks. I'm crying, and I'm like, I want to rewatch it. Let's go. Yeah. Have to feel it again.
That's one thing. My grandma, the one that you talked to for the wedding, that's one thing she always says. Like, Walking Dead is one of those shows where no matter how many times you watch it, you always find something you didn't see the first time you saw it. It's one of those shows.
I agree.
That's true.
Yeah.
Every time you watch an episode, you pick up on something you made.
That's why I didn't mind watching it again with you tonight.
It's
great insight.
How do you guys predict that the mid-season premiere, like in whenever it comes back again, how do you predict that's going to play out?
You want to go first?
No, you could go. You were ready.
Me just thinking, because I always kind of like pay attention to how they direct the show and stuff. They're gonna like do something where the Carl is not even gonna be in the picture at all the first episode.
Oh, really?
He's not even gonna be talked about. It's either gonna be after it. It's gonna be after or before, or they're just gonna focus on Aaron and Edith. Carl. I feel like Carl's not gonna be in the first episode, the premiere. That's what I think.
That'd be horrible.
I think the opposite. Yeah.
What if they draw out? This is kind of how I'm feeling. Have you ever seen How I Met Your Mother?
I mean, I've seen episodes. I haven't seen the entire series, but I've seen episodes.
Yes.
I know what happens at the end.
Okay, yeah. So. Well, the ending, the entire.
Spoiler warning, by the way. Spoiler warning. But
How I Met Your Mother spoilers.
Yeah.
The entire last season of How I Met Your Mother is the wedding. Between Robbie and Robin and Barney or whatever. Yeah. So the entire last season is that entire day. So it goes like out. Each episode is like this hour to this hour, this hour to this, whatever. Like, so they draw it out like that throughout the whole last season. So I almost feel like they might do that with this second half of the season, like drag out the rest of the. So, like, I feel like Carl's going to be alive for a while of episodes until he kind of dies off. Like,
Personally, I feel like Carl is going to go out in, like, a blaze of glory kind of thing. I don't think he's just going to, like, get sick, like, how, like, in the very first season with that dude, Jim. He was digging the graves. He got bit, and he kind of just got sick, and they left him on the side of the road.
I feel like for a character as big as that, and I know some people like those memes and they don't really like Carl or whatever, but I love Carl, and I feel like for a character like that you have to have some sweet and sentimental or either like a really badass sort of episode to like leave him with this like legacy almost, so he didn't just like die for nothing. I know he helped those people or whatever, but I feel like there needs to be more for Carl, so I'm hoping the first episode of second half is just like highlighting Carl and who he was as a character.
Yeah.
I hope that they somehow manage to do something with Carl's character so that Rick can continue on. Because my biggest concern is Carl was really the main reason why Rick is still doing what he's doing.
That's true.
Because after losing Lori, yes, I know he still has Judith, but he knows Judith is Shane's kid. He knows that. And not that he's not going to still see her as his own. It's just a little bit different. And so with Carl, it just I feel like he said it throughout the entire series. Everything he does it for Carl. Every single thing. It's the reason why he keeps going. And with Carl leaving him, I'm like worried because like what exactly is keeping Rick going? Like, I know he's got Michonne, and I know he's got all these other people that are in his family, but I'm like, it's just really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
About that, and I mean, I know he has to keep going.
Yeah.
Just what's going to be his drive?
Yeah.
Right. What is he going to do to help him psychologically to keep pushing forward is what I'm worried about, and I'm hoping they have a way to address that.
Yeah.
So
Being that I'm a Negan fan, I wonder how Negan's gonna take the news of Carl's death.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
he's
think
gonna.
I
It's
might
gonna.
as well
I feel like it's
about to.
because that conversation that Carl and Negan had was a very like. It was a good talk that they had. Like you can tell, like they were both kind of on the same level until Carl played him for a fool. But like because.
But yeah, I was telling Dylan, I was like,
Like-
I wonder if they wouldn't have like done all that shenanigans or whatever, like if they wouldn't have tried to escape the way that they did or whatever, if
Negan would stood
Negan would
down.
have like responded to it, because it seemed like he was responding to him and Carl's talk. You know, like he was stopping and pausing and like thinking about it, and Dylan was like, no, that wasn't gonna work. He wasn't gonna listen to him for long. It was just a show, blah blah blah. But I don't know. I feel like he was listening. I feel like Carl was the only one that can kind of get.
Yeah,
to
because
him.
he likes Carl a lot.
Negan loves
He
Carl.
likes Carl
Yeah.
a lot. And I
He
talk.
keeps talking. Then he
Yeah.
talks to Rick about it, like that son of yours. I'm gonna raise him right. Like
Yeah, he said that.
But he also was about to kill Carl at the end of last season, though.
was.
Just before Shiva like jumped out,
Mhm.
he was like right about to
Not.
beat him down with Lucille. So I'm like,
right.
I
He's
really
a
don't
little
think he
flaky about
has
that
any
stuff.
emotions at all, unless it has anything to do with his bat. So.
Well, and his wife, because he was crying with Gabriel. Gabriel was like, give me the confession or whatever.
He was not crying
He
with
was-
Gabriel.
Yeah, he was.
Was he?
Yeah, he was close. Whenever they were in the little trailer, whenever they were surrounded by zombies, and he was talking about his wife before everything went
He
down.
wasn't crying. He was being rude.
I had no sympathy. I had zero sympathy.
like
Like
Negan.
I was like, I don't need to know your backstory, Negan. Like I don't care.
You
I
There's
just know-
misunderstood.
nothing that can make me
Hey,
know.
at the end of the day, Rick killed his people first. Okay, they were just doing their mind their own business, and then
Yeah,
Rick
and if
went-
they would have found them first, if they would have found that little community, they would have made them all work just the same. Just like the hilltop, just like the kingdom, he was going to eventually find their community and go after them. You know?
She's got a point.
Who do you think would be worse though, if
Negan.
Negan or Simon in
Negan.
charge?
Negan.
Negan be
Negan.
worse than Simon?
Negan. Simon would be taken down.
Which one's
easily.
Simon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
other
right
guy,
hand
his right
man, the
hand.
one that was talking to Maggie about getting in the box and all that
Fun
stuff.
fact, he was also on Grand Theft Auto
Yeah,
5.
he was. Yeah,
He
he
was
was
the
the
other
crazy-
really hateful character.
Yeah. Trevor or whatever.
Yeah.
Trevor.
He's
Mm.
the worst. I
He's
hated when I had to play
He's
him.
a bad face.
He's
You
got
know?
pretty
You just
teeth,
see
though.
him and you're like, ooh, this is a bad guy.
Mhm.
Anything else about this episode before we close?
The only other thing is the music. At the very end, I feel like it just was like perfect. I don't know. I'm not
I didn't
a
even
like
hear it.
I
was
didn't.
too
I
busy
usually
crying.
don't pay attention to
Yeah, it
music,
was good
but
music.
that music at the end was just so haunting and so like chilling,
Yeah.
almost. You know, like it just made
Yeah.
me like
Oh,
It was almost like a creepy music box.
it was like creepy, yeah, and it
and
sounded
they
like
walked
a.
through the
It was
tunnel,
very
the
like
sewer.
childlike,
zooming out.
like very
Yeah.
like like a child's box.
Yeah.
It was very like spooky and eerie,
Yeah.
and like it made you. I don't know. I guess to me, it just like finding out the news about Carl was already like shocking enough, but then to have that music playing
See,
with it
if you-
almost made me like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know.
you should listen to more music like that.
Okay, well, whatever.
Well, that whole episode I thought was shot really well. I loved the close-ups of the faces because it happened in the beginning of the episode, and then at the end when you see everybody's individual face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, like the way the artistry of the episode I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
I think they always do a really good job at that, especially on like season finales or like
Yeah.
midway season
Mhm.
finales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
man.
Yeah. So, well, thank you guys so much for
Yeah, this is good
hanging
talk.
out and talking about this. Thank you, especially Heather, for at a moment's notice being like, yeah, sure, I'll be on YouTube, sure, whatever.
Very awkward person, so took a little bit of convincing.
Well, I appreciate you, coming out
Thank
of your shell a little bit, and hopefully maybe we can do this again, if maybe the next episode or the season finale. I don't
Opening,
know.
we're like,
Maybe.
Yeah, and we did watch Stranger Things.
Oh,
So much better than
nice.
season 1. Let's
Yeah,
just say
yeah.
it.
I'll just put it out there.
You're gonna start a whole new conversation. You're gonna have to end
No, the
this
conversation.
on the
Yes.
video.
Part 2. We might have to do that for we might have to say that for another time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, but we did watch it on our honeymoon, and man, it was pretty good.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Cool.
We watched Stranger Things.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, love yourselves and love each other.
Bye.